Welcome to episode 24. We're almost halfway through a year's worth of, episode-wise.
You're doing it again. You're doing it
again.
again.
You're doing the time.
You're doing it again.
Thing. Can you believe it's already been 24 episodes? See, I'm not doing it at the end, though. I'm doing it at the beginning.
Yeah.
I figured I'd change things up a little bit here.
Yeah, mix it up.
Oh, my gosh. You're right. I can't believe it. Thank you for calling me out on that, by the way. And I'm going to call you out on having another May Estes hat on this week, but it's not the same one. Did you go out and buy a different one?
No. I've had it.
You've had it? I thought that maybe
I don't wear this one as often because it's more FSU color-ish than the white one. But I do have both. Oh, early appearance by Jace.
Oh, yeah. Welcome to the show, Jace. Hey, how's it going, bud? He was the star of last week's episode for sure, as he came in there and drove a truck all over your face. Oh, my gosh. There's lots going on in the in just everything these days. And he wants nothing of it. Look at him. This was total opposite of what he was last week.
Just woke up. I know.
Oh, that's what it is.
In his feels.
So he does snuggle. I didn't think he did. Like, he seems like such a...
He does. If you don't bring attention to it, he does.
Really?
But if you're like, oh, you want a hug? Can I have a kiss? Or, he'll just stick his tongue out at you.
Well, I will let you snuggle, and we will welcome you to episode 24, Flippin' Street or Make It Weird. All right, I need some good news this week because I feel like there's just been a lot of bad news happening around. I was watching awful tornadoes and awful storms, and it just feels like one of those weeks. It just seems like every time I turn on the news, it's like a shooting or a. Give me some good news is what I'm saying. I want some good news here. Let's start with that.
I got some good news for you. This is like my real life Golden Girls situation that I hope to have one day.
Oh, gosh.
Longtime neighbors Josie Church and Ann Wallace Hadrill, they are celebrating their 101st birthday together. They were born on the same day back in 1924.
Oh, my gosh.
They are a couple of great grandmothers. They've lived side by side in Oxford, England since the 80s. They've been close friends ever since. Ann is a Royal Navy radio. She was a Royal Navy radio mechanic and Oxford English Dictionary lexicographer. And Josie was a wartime nurse. They both had full lives. They dedicated themselves to volunteering after losing their husbands. And reflecting on their long lives, Josie has a simple philosophy. She says, just live. And they credit their tight friendship for their happiness and also their community, saying that their neighborhood feels like one big family.
That's awesome. I would love to spend my, what do they call it, the twilight years, I think?
Well, I don't know. Once you get to 100, I don't know what they call those.
That's midnight. That's after midnight.
Past twilight,
yeah, exactly. That's your after midnight years.
But you want to spend those with me? That's what you were saying?
I was not going to say specifically that. No, I wasn't. But I do hope that I'm surrounded by
me.
Other good friends.
You want us to live together.
Other good friends. Other great friends and community. Which you are a great friend.
Yeah.
But there are other ones also.
Fair enough.
Yeah. No, you can live close. Look, I've always wanted like a compound, like a senior compound. Mm-hmm. With close friends. Maybe my brother, it'd be nice, something like that. And then it's like we could be close by so we can all meet up and and play checkers or whatever. And and you can have a spot there. Not the same house. I don't want to be under the same roof. I want to be separated by walls.
Come on.
For sure. And like at least a walk across a courtyard. Okay? That's as close as you get. But you are welcome in the community other than that. I hope that we're still doing a podcast or whatever it is called, 80 years from now or whatever it is, 70 years from now. Or 60 years from now.
Oh, okay. 50.
No, it's not 55. It would be about 60 years from now for me.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, to 100, you know.
Let's
Anyway, 60 years for you, about 90. Yeah, because you're younger. What are you? You're 37?
I'll be 30. Hey, I'll be 36 next month.
So you're still a spring chicken. So, yeah, I hope that we're still doing something like that because it's fun. I think that's one of those things that, like, it kind of keeps you young. It gives you a purpose.
Yeah.
And we could be the entertainment for the entire retirement community.
We could.
That could be it. Like we could talk about what the specials are for breakfast and lunch and dinner and all that stuff during the week. That'd be pretty good. I want to get right into that. So Florida, but good for those ladies. I think that's amazing, and I think the one lady's advice of just live is perfect. Just live. Just stop worrying so much.
Yeah.
About what others are doing and just live. Enjoy yourself. Somebody is just living in Portland, Oregon. And he's just living his life and not giving a rat's butt about these other people. As there is a man that is dealing with a seriously weird problem. Okay. There is a gentleman. This other gentleman, by the way, is the one that I'm referring to that just keeps living because he's just doing his thing. There's a gentleman that keeps putting gallon jugs of urine in this stranger's recycling bin out by the road.
What?
Every day. Alex Van Doon says it started back in September when his bin wasn't emptied. He checked and found 6 bottles of pee inside of it. Since urine is considered a biohazard, the recycling crew has been refusing to take it. So his recycling hasn't been taken since September.
Quick question.
Yeah.
How did he know it was urine?
That is a good question. I don't know. It does not say.
Were we taste testing this?
Did he open it and smell it? Did he
smell it? I mean, you could probably smell it.
I think if it was potent urine,
not apple juice.
You could see if this guy whoever's dumping is dehydrated or not. That's for sure. See how how rich that urine is. Anyway, so the recycling crew refused to take it. Whoever's doing it didn't stop. So Van Dunn eventually stopped putting his bins out at the curb, hoping that it would end. But it did. So it did end at his recycling bin. So now the mystery man is using his neighbor's recycling bin and continuing to dump pee. Security footage, I mean, they have footage of this guy like on Ring doorbell cameras and stuff like that. Hasn't been stopping him. Footage shows the guy pulling up in a car and dropping off the bottles each night, but it's been too blurry to ID him, and they haven't been able to get a license plate. He shared it with police and filed a police report, hoping to get the guy's plate. He shared it with other neighbors on the Nextdoor app, and neighbors are full of wild theories, but there have been no answers. By the way, I would range to guess that one of the people throwing out a wild theory on the Nextdoor app is probably the person peeing in those bottles and putting it in your...
Probably trying to throw everybody off. You hear that all the time in Mr. Ballen's stories.
And it's like, always somebody close to you, right?
Might want to go check on this guy.
Yeah, it's always somebody close to you.
Yep.
And I think it's someone that's probably commenting one of those weird theories. So that if I were a detective, I would start there. Go to those neighbors and whoever's got like it's you'll never throwing somebody off completely differently. That's who it is, most likely.
Start there.
Yeah. So that's happening. Still no answers. I will follow up on this story. I will keep you posted to see what happens and if the pee stops and if they catch the pee bandit or what's going on. But there you go. Portland, Oregon, the pee bandit still loose.
Oh, my gosh. Well,
what's going on over there?
This one happened not far from where I grew up, going to Maggie Valley all the time in North Carolina. This is in Asheville, which beautiful place. If you've never been there, home of the Biltmore.
I have not been there, but I want to. People have been telling me about that. Biltmore is so beautiful. Like, that you need to go stay there. But isn't it like $1,000 a night or something? Isn't there? Is it, how much is it over there? Pretty expensive.
I mean, I think they have like the hotel. You can't stay at like the actual Biltmore house, I don't think. At least not that I know of. But you can stay. They have like other hotels and stuff on the property.
Okay,
very,
interesting.
very beautiful.
Now that area was affected by the Helene,
it
right?
Was
a lot.
Devastated
yeah,
by
that whole
Helene.
area.
Yes,
yeah,
lots of damage. They're still rebuilding parts of it, but this was not a part that was damaged apparently because Asheville police arrested and charged a man connected to an armed robbery with a machete that took place at an Asheville grocery store a few days ago. Officers with the Asheville Police Department responded to a place on Haywood Road, a grocery store that I'm very familiar with, to investigate. And upon arrival, a store employee told officers that a man had stolen a cinnamon bun and incense.
What?
And when confronted, the man
That's what he chose to steal?
Yeah, with a machete, walking in all serious. And when confronted, he displayed the machete before running away. And so officers quickly located the suspect who matched the description and was eating a cinnamon bun.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, I mean,
caught
red-handed. Yeah, sticky hand.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I like what you did there. That deserves. Was that you or is that the store? Is that some clever news
No,
writer?
that was me. That was me.
Okay.
Me.
Good. All right.
All me.
Give some credit for that. What on earth was he thinking? Like what? Who? That's bizarre. That is a bizarre story.
If you're walking in with a machete,
number one, you should walk out with whatever you want with a machete.
Walk out with cat. I mean,
you can get a lot of, or a tray of cinnamon buns.
Right, more than one at least.
And what's with the incense?
I don't know if he was trying to cover his scent track. You know what I mean? Like if he was. What do you think that
they were? Do you think that canines were going to follow a cinnamon bun smell? They were going to get canines out.
I don't know how they're trained in Asheville to do things.
That's interesting. I mean, maybe they could like sniff this and then track it down.
Could be.
And so he's okay, I'll burn incense and that'll cover my.
Yeah.
But then they'd say, smell these incense and track it down. It makes no sense. It makes no sense.
No, the sense makes no sense.
The sense makes no sense. No sense. Okay, well, that's an interesting story. Thanks for sharing that. I've got another interesting story. Now, this is something that I am so glad that scientists have been working on this, and I just know that these scientists have enjoyed this study. For years, scientists have been wondering, why are straight men so into breasts?
So into breasts?
Breasts, yeah.
Oh.
For years, this has been boggling scientists' mind. Is it biology? Or is it just what Western culture has taught them to like? Fair question, right? Scientists for years at the University of Wroclaw have been...
Had to look at a bunch.
They've had to study this.
Yeah.
And it's brought them a step closer to an answer, not fully to an answer. So they're going to have to keep studying, unfortunately.
Going to have to keep looking.
Yeah, they're going to have to keep looking. But here's what they did. They looked at a group of men who grew up around topless women. This was the Dani tribe in Indonesia, where women used to go topless until Western culture changed that about 20 years ago.
Oh.
So they split the men into two groups, those who grew up in the topless era and those who didn't. Mm-hmm. And both groups were asked about their thoughts and experiences related to breasts. What do you think? Was there a difference between the people that grew up around the topless women, not caring at all, and the people that grew up with the breasts covered? And what do you think? Any difference in the way they viewed the breasts?
I don't to me, I could see it going both ways almost, because it's like if you grow up and they're just uncovered all the time, it's just sort of like you lose that, what's the word called? Like you're not, it doesn't excite you. It doesn't, it's just kind of like, okay, whatever. Like you lose whatever that is. But when you grow up and they're covered, it's almost like mom telling me not to eat junk food, and then when I grow up and get on my own, all I want to eat is junk food. I feel like it could be
that way. Well, that's exactly what researchers were trying to find out. And it turns out it may not have anything to do with that whole, like what you're talking about, like losing the thrill of it or whatever. It's just instinctual. It's biological. Really? It's in there. So they said, surprisingly, the results were the exact same across the board. Whether they had grown up seeing bare chests daily or not, their interest in breasts was about exactly equal. So
I don't think they needed to do a study to find this.
No, they did. They did. In fact, they need more. That's what they're saying. So they would like to know if you would like to send money right now to the University of Wroclaw scientists. They would appreciate. What's the amount here? $4 million for another study on this to continue studying breasts and to see what their appeal is. They're going to continue trying. So
Could you imagine just being the guy that has to send those like grant requests every time?
Yeah.
It's like, we're still not quite sure. We're still not quite sure. Yeah. We're going to need to do a lot more research.
Yeah. But they're saying that they believe that breast attraction is more hardwired than culturally learned. And that this study notes that while breasts do have some appeal in Dani culture, Dani men don't rank them very high at all when picking a life partner. So yeah. Yeah. So
Okay.
you'd be out of luck. You're out of luck. 'Cause that's what you marketed yourself when you were. You'd be totally out of luck. I remember when you were originally dating Jared, you were like, "This is what I got." Like, how can he? This is. I remember your dating profile you showed me. Like number one on there was like boobs. Check.
Boobs. Double D.
That's right.
Looking for a Dolly Parton.
Yeah,
Double D.
Exactly. Double D.
That's me.
Kind of funny. That was your dating profile. And Jared, hook, line, and sinker. He was like, yeah, right
Got
here.
him.
Got him right there. Like
Got him.
first,
Yep.
Like, just threw the bobber in.
He proves this this study through and through.
Yeah, he would. Right there.
He's boob man.
What you got for what the what today?
All right, so this one comes, speaking of Jared, this comes from his home state of Pennsylvania, the Florida of the North, as we know. In Montgomery Township, there is a new traffic control measure that features zigzag lane lines
I think I saw
on this road that has left residents going, what the what? So the reason they did this, it was on purpose. On purpose, they did this to slow down speeding drivers on this road. And so it was designed after numerous complaints from locals about, cars going too fast through the area. And the police department there shared the details of it online, and a bunch of residents were going on there. They called it, an eyesore. They're questioning its effectiveness.
Yeah.
And social media is going crazy. One said, this is the stupidest thing I've ever seen. And police assure the design's backed by experts. They've done research on this, probably the same ones that are doing the boob research, but the community is remaining skeptical on all of this.
I just asked Chat, one of those AI programs about this to see, like, does this actually work? And it says it does. It says that it's been proven to work. That says that it causes visual confusion, which equals caution. When drivers see unusual patterns, they subconsciously pay more attention, and it breaks the monotony of just kind of driving straight and signals that something's different. Can't put my finger on what's different. Not these zigzaggy lines everywhere.
Yeah.
And then they say that zigzags or waving lines can make the road appear narrower or trickier to navigate, which again makes drivers slow down to stay in control. And it kind of just subconsciously makes them makes them think about, hey, something's going on here. What is it?
I just have to imagine how many people are still going to go straight.
Well, did it say that in the story? Or has it just only now been implemented?
No, it's just now been implemented.
Okay, so they don't know yet.
It's very, very recent. They don't know how, but experts say this is going to work.
Well,
but it's still the same road.
That's what I was going to say. They should put like some sort of like flower pots or something in some of the zigzags, so that way they have to go.
Oh.
Like I've seen that happen in St. Louis, because we are a prime example of
Prime example.
Law, order, and nobody speeds.
Law-abiding citizens.
We are a very good community.
Yeah, think of that.
So I know that's what you think of as first is safety. and look, no, but seriously, on some streets in some of the better areas and some of the areas that they have really worked on to slow down speeding, they have taken, and I think this works. I don't know for sure, but I go slow because I don't maybe if you've lived there a long time and you're used to it. But yeah, they kind of take what used to be a 2-lane road and they turn it into a kind of a, well, I guess it's still 2-way. It's 2 lanes, but there's only 1 lane's worth of car can get through at any time in any direction. And then you have to like kind of weave into this little, you kind of like weave in and out of these little flower pots. Like if you had a road like this, like this, okay, and it used to be straight. Well, now there's like a flower pot here and then a flower pot here and then a flower pot here. So you have to kind of drive, like this to get down the road. Does that make sense? Like what I'm showing you?
No, it makes no sense.
Well, that's exactly what
I understand, but it makes zero sense.
Well, now you have to go a lot slower and you have to make sure no other car is coming the other direction. And you have to kind of like dodge in and out of each other to make sure that you are.
How many times have they replaced those flower pots?
Never, to my knowledge. I mean, they always appear to be in great shape. They're giant concrete, you don't want to hit them.
So
you don't want to hit them.
We're getting car insurance claims.
Is it snack time over there? Is that what's happening over there? I hear rappers. By the way, share with the class. But yes, that is. I think it's neat that they are trying to take these other measures because. So my brother, he is an alderman and like a city council member where he lives, and he's seen like different traffic studies too. And I think I read, and I think he was telling me about it. We were having this discussion that speed bumps don't really do that much all the time. Like. They're not as effective as people would like them to be. What do you mean? Look at you. You're excited to brag that you fly over speed bumps, aren't you?
I mean,
That's
I've
a weird
been known to do it a time or two that if you can judge, usually like the longer, flatter ones is like, no problem. You can slow down just a little bit.
That makes about the same bump as running over a turtle, right, Flip? You would know. Nothing that you have to slow down for.
But like the smaller, thicker ones, those are the ones that will damage your undercarriage if you're not careful.
There's a joke to be had there, but I'm not going to. Hold your coffee. Hey. But you're right. I think you nailed it. I think on all fronts. But here's the deal. You got to think about why those speed bumps are there. It's probably because it's an area where kids play or where, where there's accidents have been happening before with speed or where neighbors, they don't just put them there arbitrarily. People want them to have them, to slow down because their family's in danger. They got their kids playing, out in the street like they used to send us kids back in the day. Yeah. Go out in the street and play. So that's why those speed bumps are there. But they have shown that they don't work. So try something different. I like that they're trying this approach. Try something different. In the community near where you grew up, Seaside, right? That little Florida town. Many people go on vacation there. They don't have sidewalks along the street, and the streets are narrower. Mm-hmm. And you know how pedestrian, that place is full of pedestrians. Like the whole town is built so it's walkable.
Right.
That's the whole idea, is that you get there and you park your car and you don't have to use it, basically. And you can walk to the town square and walk to the beach. Mm-hmm. But the design, my understanding was that slows cars down. Because they have to be so alert for pedestrians, for narrow streets, for everything looks closed in. The trees are right next to the road. The houses are up right next to the road. Everything's right there. In your mind, it automatically says, I have to slow down. There's not like if you're just on a highway with wide open views on all sides, you're like, I'm flying.
Right.
But when everything's kind of closed in on you, so that was their measure. That was one of the things that they studied and showed that helps slow down traffic. So now, can you imagine that's all tight like that and zigzaggy?
Right, and zigzag. No,
Yeah.
My anxiety would be through the roof.
Yeah, but you would go slow, right?
I mean, I guess, yeah.
Probably because your anxiety's through the roof. So
Yeah.
I think that's a maybe a start to something positive. We'll see. Follow up on that. What's the township?
It is deleted Montgomery.
All right, I'll be in Pennsylvania later this week. I'll go check it out. No, later, not this week. Next week, next month, this month. I'll be in Pennsylvania at some point, and I'll check it out.
Some point
I'll be in Pennsylvania.
Where is it? It's north of Philadelphia.
Okay, yeah. I'll try it. I think I have to drive through Philadelphia. Do I have to drive through? I think I do. I think I may have to drive through there at some point.
Do you know where you're going?
I'm not allowed to say. So
What?
I'm not allowed to say. But I think I'll be passing through that area at some point.
Okay.
It's a secret. I can't tell you where I'm going until afterwards.
Okay.
So you're trying to deduce where I'm going. You're looking at a map and you're like, if I'm passing through, that eliminates that. Don't worry about it. You'll find out after I get back.
You're going to New Jersey.
I'm going to interview with another podcast host. Okay? And you happy with that?
If it's Mel Robbins, I'm coming too.
Yeah, it's Mel. I'm on my way. She invited me. She said, leave that other lady at home. The one that keeps obsessing about me. She freaks me out.
We were at Publix and the bookstore yesterday, and I saw her face on a magazine. I'm like, oh, there's Mel. And Jared's like, what is happening right now? And then we were at the bookstore, and they had the Let Them theory up there at the top. I was like, oh, Mel's back. Yeah.
Yeah. See, that rant right there is exactly why she said
restraining order.
She said to keep you at home.
Yeah.
Because everybody else goes to bookstore and they don't notice that.
Yeah.
And you do 2 weeks later.
I know.
So
I know.
That's fine.
Fangirl.
No, I love it.
Yeah.
I think that's great. I give you a hard time. I think that's what makes you kind of special is your fangirliness towards some of those things and your excitement about those different things. And I think like the fact that you now are on your second Maestas hat, that you're rotating and
That's right.
Like you're so into Maestas right now. And and Clint Black, your shirt that you're wearing, Clint Black, that's great.
It's not.
I know it's not Clint Black.
Man in Black.
I know. I was going to see if that could make you upset. See, it did make you upset enough. I was going to say you have been with you've loved Johnny Cash for so long. I mean, you got married like on his death day.
On his birthday. Addie was born on his death day.
Okay.
Neither one of them were planned, by the way. But
really? It just happened. Mm-hmm. But you've been a fan of Johnny.
We were supposed to get married later in the year, but we're just like, we don't have to have a big wedding, so we just did it that weekend. And then Addie couldn't control that, so she was born on September 12th.
That is odd, though. Mm-hmm. You are oddly connected to him in that way.
Yeah, in a weird roundabout way.
Yeah. And some people have said that my voice reminds them of Johnny Cash.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's said that.
No, they do. They've said that.
No, I don't think.
Love
God
is a burning thing. Oh, I don't think I can say any more than that.
Yeah.
Else they're going to charge me for it.
Right. Yeah. Okay. If we're going to get taken down.
Yeah. It was just that was an off the wall comment. I just happened to remember that love is that was just an off the wall.
Yeah. And it makes a ring that's a little bit fiery.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Yeah.
They should write a song about that if nobody's done that.
Yeah.
All right. We got crazy shit that your kids did this week. I don't have anything that my kids did.
You don't have anything?
No, because I haven't seen them. I haven't seen them at all.
Oh, that's
right. Them, during this time of year, I just let them run free and wild. So I'll check in with them next week. And we'll give them food and water and then let them loose again. No, but I did want to share. Did you see this kid in the UK, Lincolnshire, United Kingdom? Natasha Emery, that's the mom.
Okay.
was kind of minding her own business and, keeping sort of an eye on her 1-year-old. She heard things going on, you know what? Yeah.
Right.
You know when things
still
get quiet.
Things.
Yeah. That's bad news, but she's hearing things. He's having a great time. He was kind of, those gates, not fenced, but yeah, those gates, the safety gates into an area. Mm-hmm. So she figured, okay, everything's good. She's like making dinner or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, she peeks in to see how he's doing, and somehow her 1-year-old son is surrounded by the spilled ashes of his grandfather. She caught the whole thing on video. The urn emptied across the living room. Ashes on the couch.
What?
Ashes smudged on her son's orange T-shirt and around his mouth.
He ate Grandpa?
Just part of him. The red-headed toddler, who looked surprisingly like Jace, looked genuinely distressed, as if realizing something had gone horribly wrong. It had, toddler.
Oh, yeah.
While the situation looked incredibly grim, Natasha, reassured viewers that her dad would have found it extremely funny.
Oh, my God.
And she also confirmed that her son is totally fine. He only ingested a very tiny bit of Grandpa.
Uh-huh.
And said that she's almost recovered from the shock herself. Don't worry. Only a tiny bit of Grandpa.
Oh.
That just brings you closer to him later in life.
Right, yeah.
Too much Grandpa, that could make you resent him because that could make you sick, and I don't think it's good. But just the right amount.
Just the right amount
Just the right amount of Grandpa. So that anyway, everything is fine. Everybody's fine, and Emily just hopes that people get a laugh out of it now, because that's exactly what she says her dad would want. Her dad was always having fun and joking around and playing jokes, and she thinks that this would be an absolute delight to him to know that. So
you just see him going in the kitchen. Mom, can I have some juice? Need to wash Grandpa down.
Oh gosh, yeah. Well, I doubt that he understands that it was Grandpa even now.
Right?
Well, he probably doesn't. I don't think he understands that was Grandpa. But she does. She understands that was Grandpa.
This is going to be a great blackmail story later in life.
Exactly. And it's on video. So that gets to...
Perfect. Even
she gets
better.
to save that forever.
Played at graduation, his wedding.
Yeah. We had and also this reminds me, and it wasn't as bad, but we had a caller or a texter on the radio show this week that said, silence is never golden, because she was doing something. She had a 3-year-old. She's like, it got real quiet. Mm-hmm. And then she's like, where did they go? And she went to the bathroom, and her 3-year-old was giving a bath, taking the shower head all over the floor of their bathroom, not in the shower, giving a bath to their dog. And the whole bottle of shampoo was emptied, and the floor was soaked and soapy, and it's just like, oh my gosh, kid, into all kinds of stuff.
It's just, it blows your mind sometimes. It's like the amount of time you spend asking them to do something like cleaning their room or something like that, versus the amount of time that they can get something done without you looking.
Yeah.
It's like, I know you're capable of it.
Yeah.
I just saw you do that in the bathroom.
That's crazy. Speaking of which, just a thought came to my mind.
What?
Have you checked on it? Got real quiet. Jace was in here.
Jared came back downstairs.
Okay, got him. Gotcha. Okay. I was like, it got really quiet in that studio, and it didn't start that way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. He just sent me a picture of them sitting on the couch.
Good.
Yeah,
Perfect.
Yeah. Freaked out for a minute.
Anything else go on with the kids this week? Do you have anything personally?
So Jace, speaking of, he and I can't remember if we've talked about this before about his fascination. Well, he's licking people, still doing that. But his fascination with light switches. I don't know if we talked about this or not, but he a few weeks ago we were at the pediatrician's office, and he was going around in the waiting room, and he wanted to flip the switches on and off. And so, most people were laughing about it, and they're like, oh, he's so cute. I'm like, oh, thank you. And so the other day we were at the dentist office with the girls getting their, all their stuff done. And not out in the waiting room. He waits until we get back
in the room. Yeah.
I think most dentist office are this way, where they're not like rooms they're rooms, they're individual rooms.
If you hit the lights, you turn off the lights off like 3 or 4 of the little things.
And
yes.
So I'm trying to keep Jace, entertained while Ava's in the chair. And so we're like out in the little hallway, and it's like lined with, all the rooms there one by one.
Yeah.
And I'm just kind of playing with him. And so he just kind of takes off running. And so I'm going after him. And as I'm going after him, I see like the light bulb go off in his head at the same moment, where he looks at the switch, looks back at me, smiles, and then turns the thing off.
Oh my gosh.
It's like half of the dentist office is now in the dark. All these rooms.
Did anybody say it? Did anybody like, hey, like, or like, what happened?
No one was like, no. Thankfully, everybody was kind of calm with it. But I was like, oh my God, somebody was probably in the middle of a root canal, and bro just turned off the light for the dentist to be able to see.
That's on them though. Like, so because you can buy those little, we had that issue at the swim school, kids, and still in the waiting areas, some kids like to do it too, because not as waiting area, fine, turn on and off the lights, do whatever you want.
Right.
But like in other areas,
in the pool,
it's like, but you can buy these covers that will go on it that kids can't do that. Mm-hmm. So if they really don't want people turning off the lights in the thing, or better yet, parents should watch their dang kids.
I just wasn't fast enough to get to where it's like we both realized, put that finger down.
I'm pointing at you. I just want to make sure that comment was directed.
Like I realized what he was thinking right before he did it, and I'm like, too far away.
No, I understand that. It's like that slow motion, like no.
Yeah, like, no.
Yeah, that's no. I kid because that's kind of stuff has certainly happened to me and will continue to, I'm sure, in the future. So okay, that's well. Hopefully he carries that in later in life, and I would love that he would. I can just imagine him doing that, playing light switch pranks on people later in life.
He's like already practicing his dadness already at 2 years old.
Oh, that's
like,
perfect. Turn off the light. That's perfect.
Do you pay the bills in this house?
Well, here's the thing. Here's what's happening is that you guys have set him up for this because you don't have regular light switches in your house.
Yeah,
they're all like this automatic smart stuff and all this. And so and so when he gets out and he sees a real normal one, that us regular folks have, that us non-highfalutin folks have,
it's fun to flick it.
But he's like, this is neat. This is Yeah,
instead of just pushing the button, it's fun to flick.
Exactly. So he's just entertaining himself. But there you go. That's interesting. That's very cool. Thanks for sharing that story. I've got a couple of things I want to. Gosh, what was I going to say? Now I'm forgetting about it. Okay. Oh, well, here's one thing. And I don't know if you can answer this. Maybe Jared. I know Jared has gone to a few of these before, and maybe he has told you how they went. And I wanted to ask you about this. I have my first daddy-daughter dance.
Oh,
that I get to not have to go to. I get to go to. I am excited about this. I'm very excited about it. And she's excited about it. But there's the only thing on this invitation, this thing, it says daddy-daughter dance. It's called boots and I don't know. It's like boots and something. So clearly I'm supposed to wear boots, right? I think, right? That's what
it says. Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking. Well, I don't know. It doesn't. That's what I'm. So is it when you go, like, is it formal or is it a country? Like, what are they normally?
It depends on what, I guess, like what the organization is, what they're like, if it's more of like a casual sort of thing, because I know like with
No idea.
with the Princess Ball, like with Girls Inc., they're like dads come in tuxes, and so like you're not wearing jeans there.
See, that's what I worry about, because that's what I thought. That's the pictures. Like, didn't Jared go to that?
Yes.
One time or something. Or I think, yeah. And like he was decked out. I saw the pictures and like decked out, and
dress
Addie
pants,
was decked out. Yeah,
dress shirt, tie.
Yeah.
I think that's the way to go, because to me, at one of those things, I would rather be
overdressed than
underdressed.
Yeah, you don't want to be that guy. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's what I'm thinking. But then it's like, can boots go with that?
Yeah.
Can boots go with a nice suit with tux kind of thing?
I mean, the right ones. Yeah.
See, I don't like the way you say that. I'm trying to figure out if I have to spend money or not. And I think I do have to spend money on something that goes with my boots. Because right now I looked at, like, I have a black tux, just a plain black tux. And I don't think it looks right. I have brown boots, like these brown, like light brown boots. And I just don't love the look of it. So I'm thinking I have to get like a white or like a linen colored outfit in order to make it work with the boots. Is that right? Or maybe could I get a blue? I could go like navy.
Just get different boots so you could have.
Y'all. You don't get different boots. That's not how that works. You don't get different boots. These are sentimental boots.
Oh,
I'm
okay. So they're old, and you're not going to want to wear them out in public.
That's
what that means.
That's probably true. Brittany doesn't like them. But I like them. That's what counts.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
That's what counts.
That's all you had to say to begin with, and I would have told you no. Don't.
They're very well broken in. Like, if you tried to wear new boots, they're so stiff.
Yeah, it's true. But if you would have started this conversation saying Brittany doesn't like it, I would have told you no. Leave it at home.
Leave it at home. Yeah.
Don't wear it.
That's probably okay. All right. Well, I'm excited about this. I will let you know how it goes. I will let you know how I show up and how other people show up.
Yeah. So fun.
I could do what some people do, and they ask, but if it's not on the invitation, I don't want to talk to anybody. I don't want to talk to anybody. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah. Do you want me to call for you? That's what I have to do sometimes.
No, I think it's okay.
You want me to call?
Yeah.
I'll call.
I'll have Brittany call. She'll call and ask. That's so embarrassing though, because then they know it's the dad that was. It's a daddy-daughter dance, and if the wife calls or the mom calls, it's like so embarrassing. It's like that the dad was asking and didn't have the cojones or to call himself, and that's.
I feel like that's
worse.
That happens more often than most people think.
Yeah, I think you're probably right.
Yeah.
Did you have anything else you wanted to discuss today?
I had a couple of things, but there is one.
Don't sound that excited about any of them. Gosh, can't wait.
Because I don't want to, I don't want to.
Don't mention
go
the
on
time
forever here. I'm not. I didn't.
Okay.
No. So there was a story that I came across that I kind of wanted to get your input on.
Okay. I can't wait.
There was a woman that made the decision after 4 years of marriage that she was going to leave her husband.
Okay.
And, it's emotional neglect, lack of support. And she described him as a wonderful person, but she sort of felt neglected when it came to important dates and household responsibilities. And the final straw was when she faced some health issues and needed surgery, but he just kind of dismissed her concerns.
That's terrible.
So
kind of sounds terrible. Okay.
So she chose to leave him by text.
Oh.
And she moved out while he was at work. And so people are kind of questioning like whether she should have confronted him in person, but ultimately she did what she thought was best for her.
I think I have an idea where this question may be going.
I want to know. Well, I know you've broken up with someone over text. I have actually broken. I don't know if we've talked about this before. In high school, I dumped someone over AIM.
Oh my gosh. You dinosaur.
Back in the day, in the 1900s. Yeah. No, it wasn't even. It was in the early 2000s. I dumped someone over AIM because I wanted to go to prom with a football player, and the guy.
Oh my gosh, you're such a horrible little teenager.
I was not my proudest moment, but I dumped him over AIM, and then he went on to be gay. So I think
You ruined him.
Got that one. Yeah.
Actually, it's probably you saved him is what happened. Probably. From more people like you. Yes. He's like, that was the best thing that ever happened to me.
Yeah. Probably. Yeah. He was on his way to be gay anyway.
Okay. So what's your question? What's your thought? What do you want my input on that?
So I kind of know how you feel about
dumping people.
Like dumping people over text, but do you think that was justified in that situation?
He doesn't sound like that bad of a guy to me. Because I have trouble with dates.
Right.
Specific dates. I the surgery thing, I think it depends. Like, it depends. Is she, I don't know. You have to be there. Okay. Look.
Yeah. Right. Sickness and in health. Right.
You have to be there for surgeries and support there for that sort of thing. Look, if you forget an anniversary date, I don't think that's reason enough to leave.
No, I don't think so.
I don't think it is. I know that's not going to be the popular opinion.
Yeah, I don't think.
But I think. No, but here's the deal. But that's if you are demonstrating your love throughout all the other days of the year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But if if you're just like if you are completely unappreciative and not showing your love and support and then just like whatever it is our anniversary like. And if your spouse wants to celebrate those moments but you have to meet somewhere. Okay, you'd be like, look, I'm horrible with these dates. Come out with that. Like, I'm horrible with these dates. Yeah. Help me, remember that. Help me set it up. And we'll go do something great, and we'll set, and we'll do this. But please help me with it.
Yeah,
that's the way that should be approached.
I think so.
So, did that happen? And then. I don't know. I don't know what the conversation was.
Yeah.
But she said he's a good guy. She says that he's caring, right? Didn't she say all those things? He was a good guy.
Said all those things.
So I don't know. So that's really tough. But anyway, what I was going to get to is absolutely yes, justified. That's fine. I'll dump up the text. I don't care what he did and what he didn't do. So all that to say, absolutely.
Just leave his ass.
Yeah, it's fine. I think it's fine. I think a text message is fine. And because here's the deal.
Coming from two biased people who have done it before.
Because here's the deal. A more in-depth conversation can and should come after that.
Yeah.
Okay?
After they're broken up, you mean?
After the initial text. The text is the Band-Aid that gets ripped off.
Okay.
You could say, hey, I'm breaking up with you. I'm leaving you. This has been really hard to bring up, but I wanted to text you because I couldn't figure out a time or a way. I couldn't bring myself to say it in person, but here it is. Yeah. Now that it's out there, we can talk about it. Okay? So it's all about how you do it. You can't text and then never talk to them again.
Yeah, you can.
Can't. No, stop.
Yeah, you can.
No, you can't.
Yeah, you can.
No, you can't.
Yeah, you can.
That's horrible. Ghosting, not good. That's the difference between you and me.
No, are you serious right now?
What?
Do we need to go back to your story?
I did not ghost her.
You moved to another state.
First of all, I called her. That was not a text. Okay, let me relive it. She went on vacation.
Yeah.
To be around her family.
Yeah.
That's when I broke up with her, thinking it would be best if she's around people that she loves and that love her and that can support her.
And not around you, so you don't have to confront her.
No.
Uh-huh.
All of her stuff was still with me, okay? She came back, and I talked to her mom. By that, I mean my mom talked to her mom.
Set it up through that.
Yeah, and got her stuff back. I mean, so there was other stuff that happened after that. Look, I'm not proud of that either, okay? I've grown a lot since then. What I'm saying is that if you start with the text, that's fine because sometimes it can be really difficult to find the exact words that should be that are appropriate for that type of situation. But then afterwards, you should have a more in-depth conversation. And I think it becomes easier at that point to have that conversation after the initial Band-Aid has been ripped off. That's what I'm saying.
I don't agree with that.
FlippinStreeterMakeItWeird@gmail.com. Email us your thoughts or comment below. You can make your comments here on wherever you're watching, on YouTube or listening. I think you can do comments on Spotify now, too. And Amazon Music, all that kind of stuff. You can do comments and all, and wherever you're listening to Flippin' Street or Make It Weird, send us your comments. But that's it. That's all I have to say about that. I think it's
We're
fine.
Done?
We're done.
Just like that?
Well, I don't see any compelling argument that's going to convince my mind otherwise coming from you right now. Is there? Go ahead.
No, because I hate confrontation. Let's go.
Okay. See, exactly. But if you hate confrontation,
to begin with,
that's why. If you hate confrontation, send the text. That's fine. If that's what But then the confrontation, I feel like, is minimized at that point because the Band-Aid, you let them get their "what? I'm shocked," blah 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 out of their system, and then you can actually have a productive conversation on why things didn't work, why you've decided to go your separate ways, and that should be held either on the phone or in person, not via text. That secondary portion, I think. Fine. I won't change your mind.
I'm still waiting on the gay wedding invitation.
But I am going to talk to Jared.
Him, though.
And I'm going to make sure he's prepared. Yeah. And that he has his own separate bank accounts and things because the day that you divorce is a text and he never sees you again.
And then gone.
Yeah. So I'm going to make sure he's prepared. That's bro code. I got to warn him. I'm calling Jared right now, so I got to go. Let's see. Flippin' Street or Make It Weird. Yeah. Have a great rest of the day. What happened? On our video side, it just went weird. It's just you?
What are we doing now?
I don't know. I disappeared on the video. Anyway, on audio, we're still here, so let's leave. Flippin' Street or Make It Weird on Instagram, Spotify, and everywhere. Bye.